Sanity check. Sanity check. I was just refreshing the page of my profile thingy until it showed up in the results, because there's like it starts counting but it's not there yet. So now that we're intelligent enough to remember that we've just got to give up on staying in one mode with the A, B, E, F, I, J, and the microphone button may or may not be effective depending on how many times you go in and out of which way you do it. So yeah, I think you just have to know that I have to go through a bunch of like steps to switch up. I'm sorry that everything's freezing up because the transcripts. Like, I got to go through a bunch of steps between wanting to busyness of squad fill and not getting it actually it's bad for YouTube in the long run, because what they're basically saying is this well, no, if I'm only sharing the tab audio, I think we got this groovy mystery solved. That's cause for celebration. Where's my preview? I should trust the bigger preview. This is what I have. I'm sharing a tab and the tab audio. So if I go, it didn't remember my place. But then I could go to another tab and actually post the link and say, you have to listen to this at home. That sounds like a cause for celebration. Are you saying that I can spontaneously dance again without worrying about copyright infringement? Well, that's exciting. Then I can actually worry. Can you imagine if one day your boss was like, I'll tell you what, from now on, anytime you want to take a break, you can take it. I don't care if you take 10 breaks a day. If you need a break, you take it. If you need a long one, a short one, you just make sure when you come back, you do the best job that you can do. And if you're like, took a break all the time, they'd be like, hey, you're not getting any work done. I really think you're abusing the privilege. And if you're like, well, you said I could take a break anytime. Well, that's not what I said. I said when you have your heart in it. I want you to do the dishes when you have a heart in it, so that you do a good job and don't break the dishes. So you're telling me I can listen to music again without worrying about cars. I just have to, and then when I go back to playing Fortnite, I have to move heaven and earth, software-wise, in order to get the sound off of Fortnite, because they won't let me play the sound from Fortnite the window, because when you choose the window, it says no sound at all, and when you use the Edge clone Brave or use Edge, you can share the tab audio, and when you use other browsers, you can't do something, or you can't do something, or you can't do something else. But I mean, you shouldn't have to choose between sharing your system audio and just sharing a tab in a web browser. You should be able to just share the audio of Fortnite. I'm sorry, did I just say that out loud? The YouTube live stream software should be flexible enough to allow me to broadcast the sounds of Fortnite, the application game, by itself alone. But yet when I go to the setting, it gives me three options, and one of them is Fortnite with no sound as selecting that application, or a web browser tab, which isn't Fortnite with or without sound, or the entire system audio, including notifications. Video calls. Like, can you imagine being able to take a video call? I mean, I can already do this now because I'm only sharing the audio and video of one tab. But then when I go to play Fortnite, I can't just switch to playing one application. I have to switch to playing the video and audio of the entire screen, which is, they're forcing you to violate your privacy. Oh, we're just going to mention the Cloverfield, Darwich, and I'm so scared right now. And the not autoplay means that I can set the speed. All right, so we're getting. that. What we don't know keeps the contract alive. It's kind of rude. Didn't even taste it. What was he dancing to? I pasted in the chat. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, if they rally around the family with a pocket full of shells, are they like stuffed shells or seashells? Do they really need to carry ammunition in their pocket, like so they have it on hand? Like, is it metaphorical? Are the shells representative of keeping people in the dark about things? Pocket full of shells, like a candy shell, hiding what's really going on. The three types of people stranded on death row. So talk when I do something. So let's see. We'll do a sanity check on the sound. Too loud. Too loud. Okay. Shouldn't be too loud now. It says sharing this tab to YouTube Studio. I like the fact that I'm losing screen real estate because this fucking cunt has software that's designed to have this thing wasting real estate, screen real estate. This little bar. It's a toolbar. It's a freaking toolbar. Saying that this tab's been shared. I like it. I like it because you go to another tab and it has the same toolbar on every single one, whether you want it to or not, in case you want to switch to it. It's a feature, not a bug. Just we might be able to implement it better. We're already into this a little bit before what happened. The browser crashed. It just disappeared. Which I didn't check the end of the video to see how far it went. The web browser crashed. I rebooted the computer because it needed to do updates for the Realtek semiconductor something. And then when I got back, it asked me if I wanted to restore the pages. So I said yes. And then, of course, it had the showing that the stream was still going and it was still counting. And it was in the streaming software apparatus, and there was no way to switch back to webcam, which is what it always does when the webcam is interrupted or whatever. There's no option to switch back to webcam from within during a stream. You can't switch cameras during a stream. You can't switch between streaming software and a camera during a stream. You can't do anything. It's the least versatile. And that's what it's, why do you have to have an antidepressant for your antidepressant? It's fucking stupid. Oh no. Oh no. I just needed to wait 15 minutes and I couldn't do that. Think of all those zeros and ones. It's like an episode of The Matrix, like when they have the two pillars of they zoom into the numbers and on the screen, the green numbers, and they zoom in, they go between the pillars of the numbers. Like right now they're sending it down to Redmond or whatever, He said a cuss word for 15 minutes. Freedom of speech comes with its own whatchamacallit, insanity. Laggy much. Lag, like, yeah, so we tried to get in the, we're not Taurus, we're Gemini. I should be listening to Gemini. I don't like this. I don't like this. When I'm only sharing a tab, I forget that you can only see that tab, and it's just so obtuse that I can't omit the sound from one app to appease copyright things. I mean, if you're gonna pigeonhole me into sharing Fortnite with no sound, sharing a browser tab, or all system audio plus Fortnite audio, so at least let me omit VLC or omit a YouTube tab in a web browser so that that sound doesn't get broadcast on the stream, but I can still hear it. But again, this is about audio routing limitations. This is why streamers have to buy 2 PCs. It's the Valentine's Day is just a way to sell Valentine's cards for the Valentine's people that make Valentine's Day cards, and none of that. The limitations are the 3 different ways to broadcast your screen on YouTube software running in Windows. Shitty. Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Can't do it without the picture and touch button. I need no one being watched. Well, I need to know that I'm not being watched. Not yet. That's tomorrow. We were saying that they just went right on June 4th, which was Tuesday, and red is Tuesday. Wednesday's blue and green, Monday's silver, Sunday's yellow, Saturday's root colors, Thursday's orange, Friday is pink and purple and baby colors.
Hey, I changed single-handedly the music industry. I said Clyde Davis can't find that kind of artist. I said real shit. I said Quincy Jones can't find that kind of artist in this new age. Welcome to the age of the prayers, bitch. I own all my rights. We about to get real airheady energy and stuff like that because we got good big old, it ain't really good. So it's the mega stallion, saw your big old freak in the sky in Gemini. I love that. Big old snake sigil system alignment conjunction to make it simple. You already got the same terms in the Bible that they got in the sky and they got in like making the stallion songs and stuff like that. House Lord, I'm saying, house Beta, feminine energy, receiving the sun in that position that they be calling different names, different men names, messiahs and stuff, phallic religion. I'm saying, then it goes going into the house, the big old freak. I'm not going into the big old freak. I'm saying, excuse my Martianness. Excuse my Martianness, bitch. I'm saying real shit. Hey, listen to the message. Step aside the message. Hey, the messenger got Dunkin' Donuts. That bitch. I'm saying real shit. But you gotta understand what's going on right now. We're gonna have real good airheaded energy because the moon is getting ready to go in Gemini in the sun there. So that means we get ready to experience a minor lunar eclipse. Not maybe a full one that happened every 4, 16, 17. I'm saying, McDonald's had it farm. In the next 20 years, you might experience the full moon again. The lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. The big old solar eclipse, the big old freak that block out the whole. I'm saying everybody facing the totality of the Eastern Hemisphere where that event get made. Big old hot cloud. So for the most part, we're gonna be in some energy that the next 20 years. Right now, we're in a micro version of it. Micro shit. It's gonna happen next month. It's gonna happen the month after that. I'm saying, it ain't got nothing to do with it coming from another galaxy from far east and the moon being a rock. That's retardation shit. A lot of rock ain't crashing into shit now. How come as long as our grandmothers been living in shit like that? The moon wanna be a rock, but they don't wanna crash into nothing. But let a man start telling it, the moon is a rock that crashed into some 13 billion thousand years. Like, get the fuck out of here. Retardation shit. No wonder the best ideas y'all can come up with is shooting shit in people's blood. No wonder. I'm saying we got monkey brains running the world right now. Off of that, they look like monkeys. You go to the jungle, get a pet monkey right now. Go out. I bet you can get them some sideburns, Shirley Temples, like Snoop Dogg. I bet you can right now. I bet if you shave them and stuff, look like one of these cats with a small back. One of them. Saying that's all you got to do is you'll know where their ancestry system and I said Gardner Snake, Chakra Yada Bales come up with. No, they got the dragon brain and dragon breath. Real shit. I'm saying, don't let no Hebrew Israelite or whatever like that don't make you think that they ain't nobody but bruh man from the 6th floor. And then you got another man, bruh man from the 7th floor. They all mimicking somebody's pyramid scheme from the 5th template, 5th floor. I said 5th floor, bruh man, circumstance. I don't know about that. So be like nobody rock you out of sleep. Y'all gotta stay on 10 toes down and make sure you open up the throat chakra. They might think you convinced and you get ready to like walk with them to their trunk so they can send you some incense deodorant candlestick. Saying get the incense oil on the side. Saying shit. Got a 6-pointed star encrusted on it. Got all kind of sigils and sign symbols and stuff like that only a Jew getting rich from them. Let's not forget that part. You scraping up crumbs, selling instant ornament, deodorant, goddamn instant candlesticks and shit like that with goddamn 6-pointed stars and printing on it, trying to sell out like you Master P or somebody from the block. I'm doing state to state block and block and shit like that in the middle of Harlem and Bronx and Lenox Avenue and shit. Like, try to do some new Master P shit, and you all just make somebody else get a whole bread loaf. There's a whole cathedral Catholic church out here that you ain't got no parts of. There's a whole Vatican. You ain't got no parts. You ain't got no discussion. Ain't no gas prices, nothing. Just a block on the corner, little league football team, concession stand table. Real shit. Niggas like shit. Don't open up your throat chakra this month. Don't open up your throat chakra this month. Oh, that real shit. Just like know where the trend is at. It's too many planets, too many water residual systems and stuff like that in Gemini. Man, you got abilities to get your shit debunked. You know, people probably believe your shit for the past 10, 15 years. Shit, not today, not this month, and not damn sure after the goddamn new moon, because the sun's still in the goddamn smack monkey ass calcified throat chakra Gemini. So you gotta keep that in mind right now. We all airheaded. You might say some shit next month and look back and be like, damn, this makes me and my religion look bad. Time for me to switch up.
Shoot, maybe I should just stop broadcasting for a moment just in case. No, that's how you manifest bad circumstances. Don't be superstitious. Have faith, belief, and imagination. Use any energies that you have at your disposal to your advantage, or to all of our advantage.
You know what I'm saying? Real, she gonna start getting your feelings and shit like that. And that's when you know, goddamn it, you into astrology now. You know the sun in Cancer. Everybody in that, I feel. You know what I'm saying? I feel. Because I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Don't be too much in that Cancer energy. You know what happened to King's dad. Ain't goddamn minutes of society. Just, you know what I'm saying? Real shit. You know what he had to do. Not what happened to homeboy. He needed that, but you know he had to do something that he may regret tomorrow because somebody was lost in their Cancer energy. I feel. You know what I'm saying? You have to pay my motherfucking money. Your monkey. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I pay you when I feel like it. This cat was a Cancer. This guy had to be a Cancer. Some silly talk about you pay somebody when you feel like it. You sure ain't think about that when you feel like asking to borrow some motherfucking money. Motherfucker, I say real shit. Don't get mad when I ask like, oh, I feel like asking for my mother. I'm saying real shit, real deep game and real esoteric deep street movies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge in the cartoons, that's it. The children's songs, that's it. Y'all always lost that children in church Sundays and shit in goddamn Sunday school. That's y'all. I'm saying you can sit at the crib, church song, come on, all esoteric knowledge and everything. You already know your religion is worshiping the devil and it's talking about death. You singing it like, oh, it's a happy, holy, jolly song because you goofy. You know what I'm saying? You really listen to the lyrics. They talk about mountains about to come down, stars about to rain down. I mean, that sound like hell, destruction. You know what I'm saying? You like, move the mountains and the stars go down. Y'all singing for y'all death. Y'all niggas say shit. Good morning. All these church songs, got all that esoteric knowledge behind there. Y'all get right to sleep thinking it mean one thing behind closed doors. You singing to your death. You singing some goddamn revelation meaning song and shit like that. Y'all just retarded as hell. These songs mean death. Y'all singing them like y'all happy to die. Be the walking death. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't shit. You gotta understand. Listen to the lyrics. The lyrics don't be nothing good. Some Jewish person who ain't want to live before they kill themselves made them lyrics and shit like that. Some Jew people, y'all ghostwriters and shit. So every gospel singer got a Jew person that they ghostwriters. About 1,000 gospel singers that came out all singing the same songs and shit like that. That was ghostwritten by a Jew. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. So I'm starting to think gospel singers is in the same situation as preachers. They ain't even allowed to like sing about other scriptures and shit. They only allowed to sing about whatever some ghostwriting ass Jew telling them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shit getting funky. We gotta stop shit from getting funky out here because they got y'all failing in this motherfucking school called motherfucking life. And right now we got the moon getting ready to be new, so we don't have a change of heart about something we've been opening up our throat chakra about, or we've been on our motherfucking mind. So whatever been on your mind or your throat chakra that you get ready to express, you gonna have a change of heart, little joker, esoteric flight tarot card, change of emotion. So it ain't gonna be some outside thing. And if it's a person outside of you, please don't get into this new epiphany and think you could convert or convince them. They smack monkey ass might still be in retardation land and shit like that. So you gotta be dang. You don't want to be lost in retardation la la land, and then you're lost into spending seconds, minutes, and hours trying to prove something to somebody. Even when they monkey asses ain't even around. You ain't even at work. You sitting around for hours thinking about a character you're trying to construct to make sure you act like that and express yourself in that manner when you're around them. It's all some petty ass shit that you and that person gonna be broke at the end of the day. So you need to stop wasting your time, minutes, and hours throughout the day proving shit to ain't shit ass people. So a lot of them, you see them every day at your job when you clock in. I'm saying some of these people, you got to put your phone on airplane mode every now and then because they share your blood, they your family. So like shit like that and shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't be getting it though. Y'all don't be getting it. You ain't got to create no animosity, bridge, brother scenario. Just know how to reconstruct your time. Put more percentage level for God, less percentage level for them. You can make it like you supposed to be a witch and wizard. You can make it seem like it's still the same. You supposed to make up the circumstance and situation. That's on you. You can't play victim when you're the spiritual authoritative adult. You know what I'm saying? Once you know better, you got to do better. You can't play victim because it has certain comfort zones in there, and then want to take your power back in other areas when it's free to go for it and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But then you miss those other areas where you can get coddled or something like that in the mental world around people you're around younger or older or the same age. And it's like you want to get some type of grace in an area that mentally you really know better, but it's a kind of strength you got to do and a letdown and a vulnerability you got to do to go ahead and express your power that you don't want to do in that area because it probably got other qualities that self-serving and shit it's like mentally deep. Like where I'm going at now, ain't no words there no more because you know what I'm talking about in your own subjectivity, circumstance, chakra system. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Like I speak to the spirit, bitch. I speak to the spirit like the Jews. Lucky I ain't got no words there yet. I got words, but make it for other people to understand. And Masons, because they be hearing all kind of curse words and shit and know what it means. And be like, damn, I'm that. I can't get out of that. Ain't nothing I can say to remix it and make them think that they practicing some magic in this world. You know what I'm saying? I got it. It's cold there. They can't get away. Like, my bell ain't never no veil over my eyes, bitch. Wait till I have a government down here in like the world trying to give meaning to certain words that I'm presenting like y'all did it and rock my people to sleep and rock God's children to sleep and shit like that. There's gonna be shit y'all can't even compete with at all and get cursed out, cast out. Y'all feelings really gonna be hurt. And y'all Bibles ain't gonna work to make no witchcraft either for us to cater to y'all insecurities. And then when we like actually express these things when we don't got it, y'all create some scientific method to give us that insecurity. And then we gotta be somewhere by ourselves saying God gave us that because we seen it in that Bible. No, that's them playing God because they was born cursed. And then anybody who ain't with them ancestor, spiritual predecessor, got better insecurities than them. Then they create some scientific method to give these people that shit and then make these people docile and make it seem like they're even playing ground now. No, God children is always gonna be stronger. No matter what y'all try to do physically with the eat, fucking, sleeping. God children always gonna be stronger. God children always gonna come to the conclusions that's something wrong. I don't care what kind of witchcraft y'all create to make people think that they still doing what y'all want them to do, but all these conveniences make them get it everybody getting this that created good. You know what I'm saying? And Walt Disney's indoctrination version of good and shit like that. But it don't matter whether it takes 1,500 years of this incarnation, reincarnation cycle system, and us going through these same cycles spiritually, just in more evolved forms that we can have more comprehension. We're always gonna have a level of intelligence to realize something is wrong, whether we extremely violent or we're getting to a more evolved stage. We mentally gotta be violent, aka how they've been destroying y'all mentally, and you're actually having some ability to fight back now because we're in a new shit where we all at this starting point of wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? We all at the motherfucker starting point of wiggle room. So you gotta peep game. Fit your shoe sizes. fit your shoe size is way faster than theirs. If you allow them to go ahead and try to fit a whole lot of shoe sizes and shit like that, you're gonna allow them to get a shoe size that fit all. Then now they got another generative principle circumstance, another objective concept that suit all of our subjective biases and circumstances. Then before we know it, we doing the same thing our grandfathers and grandmothers did, aka another thing that we think we about to vote for that before we die we ain't gonna see, and another kind of concept that's floating on the sky. So it might not be no man walking on water, but it might be some green or gray little goblin that ain't quite got eyes, like Billy / goddamn Carson was explaining the shit like that. As long as we believe some retardation ass shit that none of us is gonna actually see in reality before we die, that's all they give a fuck about. That's all they give a fuck about. Don't give a fuck about shit else. Thank you so much for should go for the next. I appreciate that from my heart. Real shit. I try to get that out as fast as I can because I see that like. Y'all know Mercury and Aries and shit like that. In my mind, I'd be at the end of a sentence before I even start expressing the middle and the beginning. And then I might get mad if someone don't understand me, if they're around me or something like that. But I gotta understand I think too fast. I'm Mercury and Aries and in the 8th house. So the thing I'm attacking, I'll be expecting a person to already understand that because I'm attacking what they should understand behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? In the inner world of shit. And that's what I realized that's like a power that you ain't really supposed to use and shit like that. And anytime you got a planet in the 8th house, sometimes it goes in depth and it's a power you ain't supposed to use. It's always gonna come out all over the place. But that understanding of what's understood don't need to be said quality, be more of an emphasis though. You know what I'm saying real shit. So you'll fuck around and say something that ain't got nothing to do with something externally, but directing the conversation to something externally, fuck around and point to something internally that a person to go through, and you won't think that you're like that they're taking away or something like that, even though you're not thinking about it in that concept and then just drip away and separate and shit, and you be trying to figure out, you attack the unseen world forms and shit like that. So it wasn't something that they could just tell you why they separate. It was something that it just had to, you know what I'm saying? Because it's too petty beneath the surface to bring and try to explain. You know what I'm saying? Bring to the surface and try to explain. It's almost like catching on to something that you see a person hiding or something without even knowing it because you're so in depth in the actual realm of.
Say the line, Bart. They seem the chat for Power Right and the Kisser. My preview for the picture-in-picture has gone from being the right aspect ratio of rectangle to being the wrong aspect ratio of rectangle again. But yeah, he was saying that sometimes you could say something that you don't realize how much of a dig it is for the person because you didn't know where it was digging, basically. So, or sometimes you do know, and it's the exact opposite of what he's saying, like the Dane Cook vicious circle when the girlfriend says you're stupid like your father because she knew it would get under his skin. Sometimes you can say something a certain way where you think you're just being rude or polite, or you think you're just being an observant person, but it has special meaning for the other person, and then they take it personally because of their Power Right in the Kisser situation. The link that I just posted, and you may not realize what you've done, especially if you're like Peter Griffin.
Behind the scenes before it become in front of the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Before it become ashes to ashes, the dust, the phoenix that arise, the passion that arise, the vision that arise. You know what I'm saying? But getting into goddamn all these got conjunction energy. We're gonna have the sun there, we're gonna have Mercury there, we're gonna have Venus there, the moon there, and we got Jupiter there. So it's gonna be all these goddamn energies that make us get too lost in our minds about. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you're not in no situation where you already a talkative person because you might slip up and telling yourself about something. And whatever you're talking about may not have anything to do with what you're thinking you're talking about. No, I mean what you're thinking you're not hiding. I mean what you're.
So basically what he's saying is that I was talking about all the Geminis being together today because this was filmed on the 4th, 2 days ago, and things were aligning as of yesterday and today. So everything I'm saying is going to be a 5-5-4 to either kick me in the butt or motivate someone saying something and not realize what I'm saying. Like when a kid says the F word before they know what the F word is. So he's saying theoretically the energies, the Gemini energies, create some sort of cell division tadpole situation where people might be imparted these innuendo right in the kisser messages that you didn't know you gave, didn't know, and realize it's nature. It's like a cell dividing time. Every moment is a shift. Every moment is a unique snowflake. Just because your energies are similar on the day of your birth anniversary doesn't mean they're exact.
Supposed to be hiding. Like you might be self-reflective, but y'all might be watching a movie, and a movie might strike you in a certain way. And whoever you're watching a movie or went to the movies with, this is allegory. You might be already a talkative person. The movie might strike something that was in your previous life, since you already a start relating something that they commonly know that ain't got nothing to do with your personal life to the movie. But for you to even spark that conversation, you're going to spark a light bulb in people's minds to be like, oh, this must have been something this person went through or something like that. Why are they giving so much importance to this scene? But and then you don't know you told on yourself about something until the moon phase separates, and then we got all this conjunction. You might not be able to tell you had that, you did that, planted that negative seed in a mistake until the sun going to Cancer, and then you start seeing the moods that the people that was around you start to give you, and then you can be able to synchronize it together to be like, oh, I'm getting this mood right now based upon what the fuck I was talking about during that time we went to the movies. And if you was into astrology, you'll know the time when y'all went to the movies what this allegory was when the sun was in front of that Gemini. You know what I'm saying? So right now you want to be careful of that too. If you're a motherfucker that got a motor mouth, you want to Dame Dash's hateful pet peeves and shit, aka being a goddamn chatty patty. This is the motherfucking time right now to motherfucker check yourself and be like, wait a minute, let me not talk too fucking much. You know what I'm saying? You just be la 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 at work because normally it let the day go by faster. But this could be the particular time that you doing that and the day goes faster, but you planted a whole bunch of bad seeds and putting foot in your mouth and saying shit and acting like people at your motherfucking job is your goddamn friends. Then you're gonna realize when the sun, it might take way to the sun going to Cancer, so you realize everything you were saying to make the day pass, thinking it was comfortable, start to get used against you and shit like that. And motherfuckers start giving you weird animosity. You might start losing hours and shit like that. Managers might start acting funny towards you and shit like that. And it's based upon whatever your stance was. The person could use that if they know it's multiple people against that stance, even if it's just down to motherfucking politics or something like that. And if it's a way for them to get more hours of you or whatever like that, that motherfucking funk ass bastard to use that goddamn shit. And that's when God will show you, motherfucker, stop going to motherfucking work thinking his friends there. Ain't nobody friends at your motherfucking job.
And it's important to note, if you don't know that you're rubbing somebody the wrong way, then you're going to be confused when they are standoffish or act averse towards you when you try to interact with them. So nature can be confusing. We can't expect all those Geminis got together today. We can just try to be kind to each other and fair to each other and try to hear each other out.
Real shit. And then when it comes into the environment itself, it makes it seem like it's normal, it's called for it to be messy. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost enticing a little bit. It almost makes you feel like you're an outsider and you won't even be comfortable at work if you don't do it. That's how deep the Jewish psyop, masonry, witchcraft play out in their building. Thoughts and feelings. So you go home with all replaced spirits with forms of energy, mental forms that ain't even yours. You take it to your crib and don't let you have a family or something like that. You might give them all kind of unwarranted energies that they don't deserve and shit like that. Bringing all these goddamn weirdo ass witchcraft spirits from your job to your goddamn crib. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit works. You gotta wake up in the morning or later on after you get a hot cooked meal or something like that to realize, get back comfortable, get your spirit back.
And this goes back to what I was saying about when you exert your blood, sweat, and tears for your clock in, clock out, 9 to 5, 40-hour week job. You're creating a water cycle within a water cycle because you're hammering, sawing, registering, cash registering, whatever you're doing. It burns calories, which means that you're letting cells out, which means that those cells are going out and saying, "Ooh, what's now that I'm not a cell inside of this person's human person with opposable thumbs body." So if you work and you have a toxic work environment and you're the only nice person, then your nice cells are going to go out and they might go right back in you, and you might stay in a little happy little bubble, but somebody else might be able to burst your bubble. Or somebody else might sense your happy energy that keeps going out of here and back in. And what I'm saying is sometimes you can be a trash collector and you can still enjoy your job. Sometimes you can be an airline pilot and have to, but you can also, listen to a book on tape so that you can physically put your chakras that make you fly the plane and do it good, but also be comfortable because you're mentally not smelling the diaper genie in the room because you're really into the book you're reading, so to speak. So when you're at work and you know everyone else is negative or you're interacting with negative stuff, then you're constantly maybe mixing your positive and out, internal, external, from exerting yourself. Breathing is a form of pain. So you're constantly freeing cells. It's just whether or not you're freeing 10,000 or 2,000 or 10. And they're constantly going out and coming back in, or they're constantly going out and going into your coworker or a customer or whatever it may be. But you've got all this interaction of spirit with all these forms. So it's like recycled air, which is that we're back to work over there when I started walking over here. It's like recycled air on an airplane or inside of a hospital or an office building. Recycled air. When you leave and go home, you've been kind of like enriched or reinforced. You've been around that, whatever those other people, if the guy to your right is in a bad mood and the guy to your left's in a good mood, and you just have a headache or a hangover, or you're just like annoyed because their color of their shirt or something, you might be paying too much attention to that stuff. But if you're in your bubble and no one interferes with your bubble, you can, the butter's where it needs to go. then you're fine, and you can help other people have good bubbles too. But if you're in a semi-toxic work environment, you're gonna have some of that stank on you when you come home, like the soup can on the shelf for the doorknob. So don't kick the dog.
In a comfortable space to realize, like, damn, I had some shit on me that wasn't from me and shit like that. And then you should be a man if you're a man and apologize, even if it was something petty, so it ain't called for. But if you apologize, and then you might be with a demon, like a human, so deep down spiritually, we all know what's going on. But when a person's still surface level, they've been around so many people that ain't the normal thing to be bringing up. So it's almost unnormal for anybody to bring it up. They keep it fake, going with statistics. Y'all know what I mean? You gotta be spiritual to know what I mean. Where it's fake woke spiritual, and even people who ain't spiritual at all, then it's the spiritual people. And then sometimes when you're spiritual, that's all you got to choose from, right? But then if you say something and I apologize, and then that person is still low hanging fruit, and they be like, what you apologizing for? But then you express that energy that all of us as spirits actually know. You had that spirit thinking to themselves without having words, like, wait a minute, they see something, and then boom, you put your female or vice versa onto some deeper spiritual shit now, because you're letting them know you're aware of substances before it comes to be physical matter, and it becomes actual.
It's more important to be sorry than to say sorry.
Situation or an event that both of us got to think about and put matter to, like it matters to us, or one individual or the other don't think, one of them don't care. You know what I'm saying? One or the other don't care. So at the same time, it'd be that energy. You know what I'm saying? You might bring some negative spirits from we use in a negative place, such as this allegory we making it on right now, like a job. Bring these negative energies back to the crib with spirits inside of them and shit like that to have it life, and then give this negative energy to your partner or whatever the case may be. And here's the thing: whatever that negative energy was, it's so subtle that it really don't be needing a discussion, and every spirit will understand. Like your partner will even understand. Like you're probably frustrated day at work or whatever like that. But it's important for you to still be spiritual enough to know that is more important. So build a comfort, familiarity of having discussions about dumb type of worlds, dumb type of situation, and even apologize. Be like, I apologize. Person, like, what you apologizing for? Man, I brought some negative energies and shit like that from work or whatever the case may be. And once you start having a man, if you a man, your female love you forever. She would never find another man to even get that close to know that she'd see men from a distance, and just when men try to approach her, she can already tell through a snap of a finger that he don't got the mind state for in the long term for them to even develop conversations like that. So at some point, she'll always try to make it work with you. Anytime y'all go through something flunked out, you know what I'm saying? Because at that point, that you're taking everybody where they need to actually be at. They're all spirits where they're actually supposed to be. So when we're in a world with 97% of people that's not there, any person that can go there is refreshing. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of throws people fake synchronicity off that they thought they was having to get in sync with because Walt Disney indoctrinated us with and shit like that. But that be the qualities of understanding how to be in a good position and also have healthy relationships in a deep way. So you make the actual things count. Because eventually, a lot of that, when that don't get expressed, it play out like an unhealthy release system and it start developing as negative seeds that accumulate and explode wrong time. And it might be later on down the line when it's so much of a collection of pent up auras, it explodes to the point that it becomes no point of return.
Refreshing, as in getting back into newness energy.
Somebody has to divorce. Somebody has to separate. Somebody has to, you know what I'm saying, dislocate one responsibility from the other and separate the ends of the stick, and however the case may be. So y'all don't even have to allow a situation to even go that far if y'all spiritually inclined. Or if you're the individual that watch female or female, you know this is the way to conduct your relationship, so the relationship could be more spiritually inclined, and you put that person in a position if they're not as spiritually inclined to get to that level. And if so happens to be that y'all don't end up staying together, whatever the case may be, at least that person will never forget you. So when y'all in situations like that, they don't end up in no toxic breakup. Whatever the breakup was understood based upon other reasons, not necessarily a reason where both parties have to keep creating weird negative spirit soul tie energy.
Hey Google, who sings Unforgettable?
Unforgettable was recorded by Nat King Cole.
Good job.
So it's still floating around creating toxic scenarios even when y'all dealing with other people and shit like that. All the way down to if y'all invested in that energy too much negatively, it will manifest into the physical world in some type of way where it becomes word of mouth through actual matter, people, places, and things. And you can't get that next job or get with that next person because they are aware of that previous person and things of that nature. And that alone becomes a reason why you can't go through the opportunity and shit. So you want to make sure you cut off.
That's like preemptive sour grapes in yourself. Like people that say, well, yeah, but I'll never be able to do that because I can't afford to go to college, or I don't have $1 million, or I don't have a degree or a license, or I don't know people. When you preemptively cockblock yourself or imagine that it's an uphill battle, instead of just saying, I like music, or I like drawing, or I like electronics. You know, when you do all the math, it's good and bad. It's good to have equilibrium. Know about some of the things you need, like the guitar or the amp, but know that you can just tap your finger and sing too. And don't be discouraged. Just be glad that your little airport gift shop keyboard makes sounds.
Chords and ties, because these be a lot of the things that really be in front of y'all that show y'all is blocking y'all, but y'all don't be making that correlation between that and soul tie. You know what I'm saying? Then when you get too lost in too many ties, it manifests as that in the actual world where your actual people or people you dealt with or exes be the actual reason why you can't get in another relationship to a certain degree. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that about my art. Real shit. That's why it's important for us to know that our spirit is important. You know what I'm saying? Because we it attract energies and shit, like it attract energies that we don't necessarily need. And for some reason and things of that nature, we don't be knowing when we accumulate these energies. And that's when we going through phases. And when we go through phases, that's us planting seeds, accumulating them energies that stick to us like esoteric leeches and shit, and it'd be hard to get rid of. And that's what I be calling esoteric stenches. Because sometimes it takes separating mentally and physically from a person, depending on how much invested energy
Because if your spouse or loved one or significant other comes home, or you guys come home and you have negative energies from your place of blood, sweat, and tears exerting for tokens, you might try to avoid conflict by not interacting with each other. Someone might accidentally stub their toe or spill something. And then it might be while you're interacting with each other, and you might displace that energy onto each other. You might expect the other person to be profusely caring about your toe stub or your coffee spill, and it could just be energy from work. So they may not understand why you feel the need to have equilibrium about that, like because everyone's just seeking to have their happy bubble back. But it takes time. So if you just come home from your place of blood, sweat, and tears for tokens to get something that you can use to exchange asset and influence, I mean, if you're not consciously aware that every time you breathe, cells are born and cells die, and birth, life, and death happens constantly, then you're not going to realize that every moment is a shift. It means every moment is an opportunity to turn things around or to keep things spinning like a top in the same position, which is how we create the illusion of physicality in the first place.
You put in, it might take months or years, even when you're separated from that person, for blockages to start releasing again and shit like that. So you're still carrying around this person's spark cloud. You might have been so invested, it still play out physically at times too, like some word of mouth type shit or some shit like that, where it can play out like you having a negative resume and it's blocking you from getting future jobs that if you ain't had that stain on your resume, had that bad face card, you would have got in. Or you dealing with a person that on their own, they so toxic, it takes a while for people to kind of forget that you was with them. And a lot of times that takes about 6 to 7 months to a year, because it take y'all friend circle and family and people that know y'all and stuff like that a while to experience that person going through other situations and you going through other situations for that to kind of become a part cloud after a while. So in the meantime, before all those experiences, you still be toxic. And if it's so invested mentally, it play out physically. You could not have been with that person for 3 months and you still got people bringing that person up every time you're trying to jump into something new or whatever the case may be. And whatever this person is doing on their own, they so toxic, it's blocking shit for you. They're like, oh, but you went with that specific person. So now things are getting weird for you. So it takes a few more months for you to get that fucking weird fart stench off of you. You need some esoteric cologne or perfume or something like that. No, I'm saying real shit. You gotta get that shit off of you. So it takes real good spiritual systems and shit like that and separations and not thinking about that person and even being around people for larger portions of time, around the people you met that smack monkey ass group. Because that's just a result of you still with the same birds. So that's you flocking together with the same birds. So you might find another bird. Y'all still flying in the same direction. So wherever you go, there you are. You're going to find another person being around them same friends. Or you can have the same friends, but going out with them at that same time, not being more distracted with your godly gifts and doing that in moderation. And fuck around and meet a different bird going in the same direction, aka a different.
But you can't just keep zeroing your hard drive and reinstalling the same apps, expecting different results. You should only be zeroing your hard drive and reinstalling the apps to do diagnostics, or doing a cleanse of your social medias, or switching screen names, or dumping all your friends and getting new, completely going through a phase, or replacing all of your hobbies with other hobbies. Should do so with intent and awareness.
Person still got to cheat on you. A different person ended in the same situation the last person was in. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that means. So it's about checking yourself spiritually. It ain't about separating.
And sometimes people will get out of a bad relationship, and when they get into the other relationship, all they can talk about is how they want a situation. Oh, you're not like him. You're not like her. This is so nice because in compared to something else. And that's why in Germany, it's not, or it wasn't legal to mention your competitor's product when you make advertisements on TV. And I think that's fair. So it's okay to be aware of your bad breakup, but I mean, when you talk about it and think about it, and you your value of your new relationship is partly based on the archetype of not being the old archetype. You're saying that the Callahan name from Tommy Boy, their competitor. You're saying, well, I thought that my ex was Callahan, but I realized that it was Dr. Thunder. And I want the real thing, and you're the real thing. And if you're constantly making your new girl or guy feel like they're the upgraded version of your ex, then that's just dehumanizing. You're treating the person as an object. And whether or not people consciously, whether or not you correct them when they imply that that's what you're saying, or whether or not you consciously acknowledge it, I mean, esoterically, we have to take account for the energies we're bringing about with us. And try to keep our bubble intact as best as we can, and spread to our advantageivity, because positivity could be positive for something. It could be positive for sparking an idea or a fire. It could be you could be pop.
Blatant bridge burning, get lost online by fake messiahs and shit, which that's dead too. I'm glad that version of it died. One and shit, and teaching you to go be in the woods and musty and be rebellious and from your family and people that can help you and shelter. And even if you got your own shit, get rid of all your shit, quit your job, and go live in the woods and be musty. That's retardation. Bitch, you stay in the Western Hemisphere. Western Hemisphere wasn't built that way. Move your punk ass to India or Africa or something like that. You stay in America. You play the game or motherfucker just complain. That's it. Bars. That's the only two things you gonna do. You gonna play the game or complain. Now, one crazy thing about it, when you're playing the game and they change the rules, if you're actually playing the game, you got a reason to complain. If you telling everybody don't play the game, and all you do can complain, 9 times out of 10, it's things you got to do in the game for you to even complain. AKA, if you can't pay your phone bill, you won't be online even complaining. So a lot of that shit be bullshit. That's why I'm glad that version of it left. I'm glad that, hey, everybody, let's all go in the woods together. I'm glad. There were too many mothers crying and shit like that, and grandmothers really secretly happy because the reprobate that she had a child, her child, she ain't really give a fuck about and shit like that. That's how grandmothers be thinking. She's like, shit, with them, the fruit ain't fall too far from a tree, and I made a mistake with this heifer. Saying, and the mothers be sad and shit like that because they be like, hey, what did I do to make my child, my little son and daughter rebel and go be in the woods? So I should have checked their online pages and shit. I'm saying real shit. You go to grandmother, she'll tell you go to grandma, she'll tell you go to hell real fast though.
Well, maybe not have the
go to hell real fast. You'll think twice even trying to go in the woods because grandma know how to do the spiritual energy. Grandma been through all these ups and downs. She know how to do that weird witchcraft ritual for God. So not feed your ego, separate it, and need you wanting more in all areas. So grandma ain't gonna give you more of this energy to boost your rebellious energy and shit. She act like she don't give a fuck. You gonna sit around pondering your mind like, damn, why everybody give a fuck and trying to tell me to stop? And you don't know spiritually everything in reverse. So spiritually that be motivating you to go because you secretly that's a way of getting cared for or something like that. So the more people push you to stay, the more you're gonna be like, oh, I wanna go. You wanna see how far I go. But that one person, grandma, oh little bastard, gives a fuck. We need Jesus. That's the last thing grandma said and shit. And she skipped over you and gave you your plate last when she used to give it to you first. All that mental witchcraft for God, yeah, grandma know how to do it. You will be thinking like, wait, why grandma ain't saying nothing? Why grandma won't have like, let me hang around for one more day or two. After that one day or two, we'll turn it to before you know it, bitch. Grandma did God witchcraft on you. Saved your ass from going to be in the woods to be musty and shit. Like, oh, that's real shit. And goddamn it, she did it in reverse. Had to be a little negative, but goddamn it, you gonna think her in the future. Rest in peace, your motherfucking grandmother's soul. Real shit. Grandma know what the fuck she doing. You know what I'm saying? Even when she whipped your little ass and your mother act like she can't because your mother acting like she your goddamn but a more weird witchcraft ritual for God. So not feed your ego, separate it, and need you wanting more in all areas. So grandma ain't gonna give you more of this energy to boost your rebellious energy and shit. She act like she don't give a fuck. You gonna sit around pondering your mind like, damn, why everybody give a fuck and trying to tell me to stop? And you don't know spiritually everything in reverse. So spiritually.
That reminds me of the get off of substances method I developed based on something Uriel said. Basically, when you put spirits in defensive mode, game over. But if you're like, I don't SC, but if you're going to SC around me, then you know that's fine. I'm a mayor, but I cannot participate. You know, but I mean, you don't have to actually reach out and touch the stone pipe, you know, and then you know stand your ground when they say that you have to stand down because you took a little whiff off of somebody's burnt plastic or whatever. The hell does that have to do with anything? Yeah, so the gist of the scenario he was painting was that if you kind of, instead of being like USC, so you're not cool and you have to stop, don't do that around me, don't swear around me. If instead you and you know there's people that do it the fake way, like you know they let you know that they don't like it when you swear, and then when they do it, they see how you react and you might muffle your reaction, but no subterfuge. You have to literally be like almost encourage somebody to do a negative activity to the point where they feel like they can open up to you about it. They feel comfortable doing the negative activity around you, and then once they feel comfortable, you can be like, well, I'm not viewing it from a let's go to war with each other standpoint. I'm just saying logistically, I wouldn't be able to afford this flat screen. Was what he mentioned. Like, you know, you know, there's these things that I want and need, and if I wanted to need those things, I couldn't receive these things. So you can just kill them with kindness. You can you don't have to actually consume questionable substances with somebody that's struggling with substance abuse. You can just sort of not excommunicate, don't disown your gay son about the situation, but more importantly, you can, like the safe injection sites. The safe injection sites could save lives, but I don't know what to say about the OxyContin that they wanted to produce with the Sackler families and such, because this is a tablet that people are doing whatever they want with, and I don't know whether they ingest it or whether they inhale it or do something else to it, but OxyContin and I don't know if it's fentanyl a substance, is it a medication? I don't know, but medications are typically designed to be taken orally, so the point is, I mean, if it's safe to do so and you can, and you want to support somebody in overcoming substance addiction, the best thing you can do is you're stupid like your father, is be the grandmother analogy there, where you you kind of like convince them that maybe maybe the parking tickets from Beverly Hills Cop. It's 3:44. Let's see. I'm posting it in the chat without, get this out of there. I'm posting it in the chat without previewing it, and I'll preview it after and say if it's wrong or not. Totally, it's totally is. Gotta be. What did that have to do with anything? Working trisonic polarity syndrome. I didn't go back around up to it. Yeah. What have to do with Beverly Hills Cop? Yeah, you're basically making the person struggling with substance addiction that is a problem for their life. You're making them weigh their options themselves. You're making them do the shadow work. You're not pointing the finger at them for smoking cigarettes or dressing like a goth person and saying you have to repent. You're gently allowing them to take stock of the situation and gently move themselves in another direction. Or like the Tao Te Ching said, we did it all by ourselves, but it's also dangerous to do the we did it all by ourselves things, because then sometimes sheep get the impression that they're smart when they're not. So there has to be equilibrium. People have to know when they're being stupid and when they're being smart. So if you convince people that that the Alvin and the Chipmunks in the costume is an actual adult, then when they find out it's not, they're going to be disoriented and disparaged, and it's fun. It's lots of fun.
She got you motivating you to go because you sick leave. That's a way of getting cared for or something like that. So the more people push you to stay, the more you're gonna be like, oh, I want to go. You want to see how far I go. But that one, little bastard gives a fuck. Need Jesus. That's the last thing Grandma said and shit. And she skipped over you and gave you your plate last when she used to give it to you first. All that mental witchcraft for God. Yeah, Grandma know how to do it. You gonna be thinking like, wait, why Grandma ain't saying that? Why Grandma won't have let me hang around for one more day or two. After that one day or two, will turn into before you know it, bitch. Grandma did God witchcraft on you. Saved your ass from going to be like, oh, say real shit. And goddamn it, she did it in reverse. Had to be a little negative, but goddamn it, you won't think her in the future. Rest in peace, your motherfucking grandmother's soul. Real shit. Grandma know what the fuck she doing. You know what I'm saying? Even when she whipped your little ass and your mother act like she can't, because your mother acting like she your goddamn best friend or some shit like that. And really, your auntie became your mother after a while, shit, because your auntie gave you all the good knowledge and shit. It's probably who you was around about 87% of the goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? The feminist auntie that couldn't get it in and wiggle jiggle energies real good and shit like that. So your mama and your other aunties and shit like that, they was out and about telling you they had about 19 jobs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. So the good one little feminist auntie and shit like that somehow didn't quite get there and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the one you got to go over and play all the little video games, Nintendo 64 DVD collection. You know what I'm saying? All the shit. All the boxes of cereal, new boxes of all the new Captain Crunches and shit, the berry Captain Crunch. You know what I'm saying? Cinnamon Captain Crunch. Oh, shit. You love Auntie Chris. She used to grow up like.
Now I heard a rumor that the Nintendo 64 that has that little thing in the top there, where they put the 4 megabytes of memory. I heard that you could get like a souped up Hemi thing, or you could put something in that's double the size. And somebody claimed that it made the games look better, and that is something satisfaction or fulfillment energy about using a game genie in the Nintendo and getting the code in and doing interesting, neat stuff. That is something that I consider like you can get fulfillment or satisfaction energy out of that. Even now, even for 10 seconds, if I could be like, yep, plug it in, it works. That is satisfaction energy. That is newness energy. That I'm not going to sit there and continue to play. I can't even play Metal Arms. I can't even play Halo 4 because the joysticks is just like trying to walk while you're underwater. Like, I have no idea how I played Metal Arms. I have no idea how I played Halo. I want to blame it on the controllers. They must have degraded over time in the tote. But when I go to play, it's like trying to sing underwater. It's like, how was I so good at those two games? But if they don't make a sequel for Metal Arms, I will make it myself, because Metal Arms is the best game in the world. And they had a thing where you could put well, in Halo, they have a thing where you can put the guy's dialogue to rare dialogue first with one of the skulls, so that they say infrequent dialogue more frequently. And they were still saying new things on Halo that made the game fun to play. I just loved hearing the random things they would say. And everything that made Halo great is stolen from Metal Arms. Everything that made Halo a great game was stolen from Metal Arms, because I never got to the end of all the dialogues in Metal Arms. They kept saying new things every now and then, and the replay value was pretty darn good for Metal Arms. I liked Halo ODST. Halo 4 was horrible. Like on Skyward Sword, killing the big that thing, or Guriham. Those two were just like, it wouldn't work, except for every now. It's like fighting Guriham was like Russian roulette. It was like playing roulette. Like, you had a chance that you would hit him. There was no skill involved. And as far as the big thing made out of Rupors, the big nothing thing, I mean, that I didn't like doing that, but you had to get to the. I would literally like procrastinate and do everything I could before I got to that. But the original Ganon, it's just so not nerve-wracking. You're just like, I'm just gonna walk around, and if I see him, I'm gonna go like this. And then when you beat the original Ganon, you can play the flute, and he'll come back if you do it before you collect the Triforce. WTF?
Yeah, y'all know secretly my auntie that really was my mama. You don't talk too much during this time. You might start self-reflecting. So forget y'all did it all. You said Jesus. Gemini, you might start letting people around you know, like, oh shit, yeah, his mother must have dropped him off a lot of times. Drop that bitch off a lot. You talking good and shit like that. You ain't your mind. Healthy throat chakra. The day passing at work and shit like that. Everybody thinking like, oh shit, why was that thing out there? But you know what I'm saying? Start questioning. Don't be around no damn Capricorn, no Virgo. Oh shit. Don't be around one of them. I ain't gonna be able to wait to put that 2 cents in. Like, you'll start thinking shit like that. Hey, why you always at your auntie house and shit? Where's your mom doing this time? You know, be still thinking you have a healthy conversation. You really got some secret person judging you. Can't wait to have a conversation the day you off of work. You ain't there. Sam Virgo can't wait. Oh, gossip ass Virgo. And goddamn Capricorn. Sam Virgo can't wait. And go, hey, y'all remember what Jimmy and Sally was talking about yesterday? Yeah, it's something to that. They brothers like this. I was always with my brothers. That's how Virgo do their little 2 cents. They throw little out there like, say little tricks out there. They throw little tricks out there for people to catch on what they really trying to say, but not actually say it because they beautiful and shit. You know what I'm saying? So the Virgo sit there like, yeah, because my mother and my father, they were there with me. Then they start sipping the tea and raise their eyebrows. They wait for somebody to add. They wait for a Libra or somebody to actually say the truth or something. You know what I'm saying? Virgo say, I think I should have real quick after they said, yeah, you remember Sally and Jimmy was talking about yesterday? But why they always running out to us? Auntie house, I was growing up. I remember because I had to start getting the details. They become devils at that point. Virgos start becoming devils. They start getting the details and shit devil in the detail. It's like, yeah, because I remember, man, yeah, because my father and mother, even when they took me to school, I remember them putting the child lock on so I don't make sure I push the back door open and stuff in the car seat. But they said I remember the strap, the seatbelt being tight, real tight. So we always had a child seat. But they start getting the details. They're going to be quiet. I said, wait for a Libra to be like, oh, yeah. And their mother probably was a prostitute. So I said, you can't Libra or Leo say some shit like that. I don't Libra or Leo. I said it. They're gonna try to act like play victim a little bit, like, oh, for real, that's what you think? That's what you think? Yeah, no, so that makes sense. Yeah, I think I was reading over some statistics like that on Google. So, bitch, you think about that in the first place. For the whole conversation. Real shit. I'm about real shit. You know, I'm talking like, oh, work, that's how you feel. You think like, that's what you think all the time. I'm intellectual Mercury and ass. Shut your ass up. Homie, shut your ass up. Stop being a Virgo right now. That's real shit. You know what you're talking about. You knew what you made me just say. Be around Aries. I said real shit because you might just do that, start sipping the tea, and before you even get to put the cup to your lips. Here I go. Yeah, their mother was a prostitute. I bet. She's like, oh shit, you might just be like, no, think like, switch your shit out, shit real quick, Virgo. Bullshit. Real shit. The only thing with the Aries though, you better not say that other thing. You just better not say what the Libra and Leo may add on to and be like, yeah, that's what you think. No, don't do that part though. That's the first part before you put the coffee in the TTO lips. We might just say what the Libra or Leo will say, but then you see, because Aries is independent. You know what I'm saying? So we all just how we think. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to laugh too long. You better not say, oh, that's what you think. You think that too? Yeah, because I read so good now. Then Aries gonna stop you real quick and be like, no, you know what you was talking about. You know when you were still in a conversation. That's it right there. That's Aries. Everybody get it in the break room. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get in the break room. Once the Aries get back there, but everybody get to laugh at everybody. Though we make the room lighter. But you don't get to be Inspector Gadget and slide somebody to the side or something like that, some Scorpio or something like that, and get to have your 2 cents and throw your rock and take you behind it. So, nah. You start the conversation. Don't act like when we start saying the truth, you ain't one thinking that too. Don't start that little Mercury. No wonder her sign. David at the live rock and trying to throw it in high hand and shit. Trying to make sure the live see you throw the rock. Oh shit! Oh, no, pinnacle Earth sign face. Other than that. Mercury. Who's this? Hold on, Chuck the deuces. I can't see you. Oh, okay. What's going down?
What's up? Yo, I wanted to talk about like.
Trust, but verify. How come I can't just share tab audio but not tab video? What if I want to share the audio of the entire browser regardless of the tab that's being shown? Share screen, share a Brave tab, share a window. Okay, if I could share my picture. What would be the point of that? My picture in picture is me. I could share the window that says, I could share this window, and then, okay, let me think here. What am I trying to do here? It's just pointless. Why are we even not? Oh, okay, yes, because we can't see the video because you never know. So, I think the best course of action. Is to do something productive with our time before wait a minute, I have to go very soon. I couldn't even get the game set up and play one match in the time it would take. Well, I think that we're just gonna have to there's no good replay value from leaving and coming back and testing the audio. I'm just gonna have to be a responsible person with opposable thumbs and quit while I'm ahead. So I'm gonna finish the stream, which is at 42:59, and try to get through some of the other one all by myself without any assistance in the evening, because I don't have a bunch of videos to do synopsises for, and I'm going to make dinner with my girlfriend and have a good evening. And we had a semi-regular day with only one little issue where the browser crashed and the transcripts loading is a point of contention. We think we've got the audio thing figured out, but I'm not going to tempt fate. We got there should just be like an interface in the corner where I could just seamlessly switch between sharing my screen or not sharing my screen. I feel like there should be a dedicated app. I don't understand what it's also share system audio is optional. So it's like the three different options have three different benefits and drawbacks. Okay, so the sun is in Gemini 16. No. The sun is in Gemini 16, moon is in Gemini 20, Mercury and Venus is in Gemini 17. So they're going to be holding steady in Gemini until tomorrow, at least some of them will. Obviously, the moon is in 20, we're coming back out of that again. So Jupiter's in Gemini at 2 degrees. So I'm assuming that's going to be a Gemini forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like the leaves outside. It's kind of like the birds. I'm paying attention more this year than I was last year, paying attention more last year than I was the year before. So when I look out and I'm like, I can't even see, all I can see is leaves. But before they grew, it was really nice. At one point, they grew their first coat of leaves and then they grew a second coat. So there was a nice pattern of dark green and light green. And when you're paying attention every day, you can be like, oh, well, that's how we came up with, patterns for clothes or whatever. So, and like, how can I use this for myself? How can I make my own hieroglyphics? Because to the Rosetta Stone and the cuneiform and the glyphs, we have to make our own drawings based on our own sun. I don't understand if it has to specifically. I got out the sundial and I figured out that this 42-degree angle. I don't know. I guess the more precise, the better it would work. But what's important is that it's important to you. So. Somebody else is running around making everybody on Earth use the letter G and call the sun, and they're laughing to themselves because they know the 554 that means so much more, and we don't know. We still think we're supposed to drive on the right side of the road, and that we don't know why we keep getting stuck in traffic because we're facing the wrong way. So there's just little ways that people can trick you. And yeah, so I'm no astrologer, but today was the lunar. I'm going to be catching a bus soon. Actually, no, I want my picture in picture. I need. I wrote a book on the well, it's only the syllabus only made it to 12 pages, but I wrote a bunch of stuff when I was not in front of the computer. Thank you to my 7 subscribers, presuming there's still 7, and not 8 or 6 or 35 or 4. Even if you're in it for the bunny photos, or I'm in business, religion, education, entertainment, and politics, whole new society. Fun, which will be all minds because everybody's going to love our 3-leg coffee mug handles. Everybody's going to love our women's suffrages. Nobody's going to want to repeal our decrees. Our alliances are going to be become a model. That is the one. We create St. Brendan's Island, and then we usher in the Messianic era by making everybody else fucking copy us. And it's fun, and it's exciting, and it'll be quick and painless. We'll get the Mega Man boss from one side to the other. It'll just take 10 to 100 years, 10 years for us to mentally wrap our heads around it, and then 100 years to actually do it. So at least your children's children will be like, but then by the time we get there, there'll be something else we have to do because last week first. So every time you create a solution, you're going to create another problem. So that's why it's all about equilibrium. If you're constantly trying to swing the pendulum to the blue, swing the pendulum to the red, you're always going to lose. You have to remember the cycle keeps coming back around again. So you have to plan for it so that you can be so that you know that the circle doesn't go around and eat its tail. The universe is expanding, so we just follow nature and expand with the universe. Otherwise, we're going to keep banging our head up against the wall, repeating the first grade and staring at our sneakers while they take all our blood, sweat, and tears and put it in their barrel and make us put our fingers in their bungholes and tell us when and where we can take them out. Creative juices flow. Browsing the syllabus, and then I'm out to check the bus. Bird just flew by. We haven't had a lot of activity today, so I should have opened the window more. It's a relatively humid day the last couple of days, so I can understand why the birds would be less active because I know how I get when I'm a sweaty. Wonderful references to all sorts of things in the syllabus. All hoodies should be zip-up hoodies. I don't even like the idea, and no, all shirts should be like button-up shirts. I'm sick of this pullover. Nobody's pulling the wool over our eyes. Or else deeper and deeper, way down. We all need to get to that point that Peter Gibbons gets, where the hypnotist gets us to that happy zone, and then we never come back as long as we intent and awareness and not just be in our own delusions. I was reminiscing about the time that I've watched twice now when Dolo received a $1,000 donation, and he was like, he had to check it first, and then once he figured it was lit, he just sort of paused and was like, "Thank you." Like it was a moment. If you were there, if you don't know, now you know. Yeah, so rip up your birth certificate and social security number. Refuse to associate with things that you don't truly love. The Bible says you should hate the mother and the father and only love the Father in heaven. And that refers to the fact that you're supposed to be putting your gifted talent in the dot in the center of your circle and not making the UPS man run your life and not the job that you're at, unless of course you're a small business owner and you make jam and that's your jam. Then you need to diversify and make sure that you're making products out of your jam and keeping up with the times and not thinking that you can just make jam. To partner, you need to be like Snoop Dogg and grovel with your competitors so that the Burger King doesn't sit there and run decrepit and be a fucking eyesore for my city, while the McDonald's sits there with new pavement, and they can afford to repave McDonald's every 2 years, and meanwhile the sidewalks are still decrepit and everywhere. Say, wander on, be a chanantan, be a keeper of the deer, because we don't waste time with sheep. If there'll be a deer and give our way a shot, then I think that we can make the world great a lot. There's a bunch of long form text in here that you're going to need to read on your own time. When I got in the shower, I realized it was still on, so I turned this little hobby into a job, just like driving in 22 into a hobby. And just as I turned the hobby into a profession, when I decided to start putting the written notes, which were for my own personal use, to good use, when someone said, does anybody have class notes for the gas box stream that got pulled, that subsequently came back up, that I subsequently downloaded with a product which now has been replaced by something called TarTube, but it had another tube back then. But TarTube can be used to download and back up your YouTube videos. So after you do a live stream, you can download your live stream at various quality levels, and then preserve redundancy, RAID drive, so to speak. Make sure you have all of your important shit on 2 external drives. If you're backing up your stuff directly on your PC or directly on your phone, you are the R word, okay? You are mentally redundant, okay? Redundancy is key. You've got to, and sometimes I'm lazy and I'm like, I'll get around to it. But when I take the photos off my girlfriend's phone, when I copy them all into one folder, and then I'm going to use my remote desktop software to take 30 minutes copying it to the other computer that's right to my right, because I don't feel like copying it to a thumb drive and moving it over there, because when I turn my thumb drive into a live CD, it makes it so I can't store files on it. And I need to invest in some more thumb drives because hers fell off with the keychain, and USB 3.0 for the win. But where's my Bluetooth 10? Where's my technology that can do something that's more useful? Today's orange, so there's a little bit of orange on this bandana. It can't hurt to be in sync with nature in all sorts of ways. I forgot to put the link for I'm Jim Jeffries, and I think we could all do better. Offline apps. I was trying to do something on my phone. I don't have a card on my phone, so it's quite impossible. I thought about the Blair Witch Cloverfield thing with regard to both him saying that people not knowing they're telling on themselves, and the fact that I'm freaking broadcasting myself, which is ridiculous, but it feels natural because before I was just trying to disseminate knowledge after I understood it fully, and this is just a more efficient way of doing that I was spurned to do, both because of the Tin Man and because of Jules. When I found out that Jesus only had to say when I found out that Jesus could walk on water and heal the sick and make the blind see and heal the leopard sores, I didn't want to join Christianity. I wanted to be Jesus, or be like Jesus, or know what Jesus knew. Why would you want to join a club that lets you associate with somebody that could do that? Why wouldn't you want to do it yourself? Yeah, I thought if a comment said highlighted comment, that meant somebody manually did that. So I was quite proud of myself that one of my comments was highlighted. It turns out one of the comments somebody made on my YouTube was highlighted, and I didn't do it. So I basically pat myself on the back and got elated for nothing. And now I should be really depressed. But if it's not on you, it's in you. And if you're not doing it for the what's it called? If you're not doing it for the validation from other people, then it's your only reward. It's your only reward. We played Fortnite. We did notes. We finished the one that we didn't get notes for, but we did. We got verbal notes. We're doing things differently now. We started the notes for the second one, and we didn't do the recording for the essay that I edited like a week and a half ago. There's a link to the Soup Kitchen website. They're nice. That's about 301. It was like I took off, but I didn't know where I was going. So we've got 1, 2, 3 backed up live streams with the people that come on and show their face and sometimes other things. So since I can't auditorily share that information with you without visually sharing it with you, I'm going to finish that on my own until I find a workaround. Or just sharing all system audio and continuing. So maybe so I just have to unpause it and then click away, right? So we're good. Am I sharing all system audio right now? I don't know. We'll do a sanity check. We're just killing 2 minutes. I couldn't tell. Live, no, well, maximum volume, live, back. No, I saw his lips move and there wasn't any sound coming out of it, so whatever. Oh yeah, I didn't do the tick box because I didn't try to do the same. This is just silly after hours practice. If I could figure out what the heck's going, it's like the little thing that I keep hiding. I was not be hidden, and I couldn't figure out where it was because it's a taskbar button. I just always assume it's going to be there. So I mean, 3, okay, so yeah. Well, I'm going to stop playing with my food because obviously what I'm trying to say is that at some point we're going to go back to studying and stuff, and I can if we get to the StreamYard thing again, I can just play it without do the whole system then the music. If I could do all the audio for the web browser, that would be one thing. Because when I go to share, I can do a tab with audio. I can't do the whole thing, so I can't have the audio from one tab while I'm in another tab, so that doesn't work. The window, it doesn't do audio. It says to share audio, you got to share a tab or a screen instead. So, because I can listen to music. I'm listening to music right now, and it doesn't need to involve the stream as long as I keep the sound inside the browser. But there's just so many limitations to this, and I can understand why people need a second PC, why they need the OBS streaming software or whatever. But it's ridiculous. It's a shit show that they spend so much time designing the software around loading advertisements and around the viewers, but not around the actual content creators or around the functionality. And it goes for everything too. I mean, Fortnite, I'm a controller PC player, and there are so many aspects, especially the bug that I mentioned 2 weeks ago, that I will not discuss until they pay me. Fuck you, pay me. That's been there's just so many ways that I can improve the game Fortnite and improve the earth. And if they're not rewarding people, we can't just our silence isn't going to do anything. We can't just be like, well, I'm just going to take my ideas to another city. I'm just going to keep my ideas to myself. You can't just not care. You can't just try to hide your careness or turn your back on your careness. You have to get mad, sad, or glad towards something, towards someone, or we're wasting our time. Even though the tough, when the going gets tough, the tough sticks around. So we're going to end this short tail end of the second stream or third stream of the day. I don't know. This is the third stream of the day. I think we got the audio situation figured out a little bit so that we know when the microphone is going to lie to us and say that it's muted when it's not, because we went in and out of the thing, and we're going to try to remember to put the know when we're trying to show something and it can't be seen and that. But so tomorrow we'll definitely have at least two streams to go over if we even get 10 minutes past me babbling and trying to play Fortnite over DSL. Thank you for your ear, and remember, I got here because Elon Musk said that the greatest mistake the Masons ever did was giving away their services for free. I was just a regular guy. And then Elon Musk said the greatest mistake the Masons ever made was giving away their stone cutting services for free. And that was specifically for me because I had heard about Masons when I was in my 20s and I dabbled in information such. I didn't know anything or jack squat. I did know that if you want to be a Mason, you have to go through this process and they have to meet your family. And I was like, you want to meet my family? I'm out. But anyway, that tweet led to me reading some other tweets in the thread, which led me to me going to a video, which led to me finding everything out. So I'm going to find everything else out when I watch all, well, by then there'll probably be 3,000 videos. Wait, 5,000 videos. Wait, there's 4,300 videos, right? Yeah, the URL page has like 384 videos, and there wouldn't even be that much if it wasn't for the gas box issue. If it wasn't for the having to the censorship. I'm frankly shocked that there. I read the YouTube terms. There's a specific CDMA, or I don't know. There's something when it's useful for the public for education and stuff. They have specific policies written just for this circumstance, just for him, where you can do whatever you want as long as it's for the public good. And if they're willing to make these complicated policies that I've read in YouTube's terms and conditions where they're saying, well, if somebody's being inappropriate, but it's for the public good, we're going to overlook that. Then you got to understand they'll make that exception for you. You just have to make sure that what you're doing is for the public good too. And then you can be a superhero too. And then we can all make our own Nikes and be our own Tollets. As long as we remember, we're just trying to act out all possibilities. We're not trying to be all possibilities. Now, I'm Landon. It's 3:08. It's time to catch a bus. So don't turn into rust. Stay out of the chlorine, stay out of the fluoride, and stay safe, but stay dangerous.